All right, let's talk about something I'm pretty sure every single one of us has dealt with, even if you didn't have a name for it. It's called social loafing.
You know the feeling, right? You're in a group project, maybe at work or school, and you feel like you're doing everything. Meanwhile, you glance over and, yeah, some people just aren't pulling their weight. Well, there's a name for that. Very specific, very common frustration.
Yep, that's what psychologists call social loafing. It's this bizarre little quirk of human nature where we put in less effort on a goal when we're in a group compared to when we're flying solo. So the million-dollar question is, why? Why on earth do we do that? Let's dig in and find out.
Okay, to really get a handle on this, we've got to go back in time, way back, to the very first time anyone actually measured this phenomenon.
And believe it or not, it all started with something super simple, pulling on a rope. A game of tug of war, basically. And what they found in the simple test completely flipped our understanding of group productivity on its head.
So check this out. Common sense would tell you that if you have 8 people on a rope, you get 8 times the pulling power of one person. Makes sense, right? Well, nope. A French agricultural engineer named Max Ringelmann discovered that the bigger the group got, the less effort each individual person actually put in. It's wild.
So this discovery left researchers with a real puzzle. Was this just a simple coordination issue? You know, people getting in each other's way, not quite pulling at the exact same second? Or was something deeper going on, something psychological?
And that's the big question, right? To figure this out, scientists needed a really clever experiment. One that could isolate the two possibilities and tell them for sure. Is it about bad coordination or is it about bad motivation?
And that leads us right to the next piece of the puzzle, and the brilliant experiments that finally pointed the finger at the real reason for all this slacking.
Okay, this is where it gets really ingenious. A team of researchers, led by a guy named Bib Latané, got a bunch of students, blindfolded them, and put headphones on them. Their task was simple: shout as loud as you can. Sometimes they were told they were shouting alone, and other times they were told they were shouting with a group. But here's the kicker. They were always shouting alone. It was a trick. This meant there was zero chance of a coordination problem.
And look at these results. It's so clear. Even when coordination wasn't a factor, the drop in effort was still there. Just thinking you were shouting with one other person made you shout at only 82% of your max. Thinking you were with 5 others, that dropped you down to 74%. This was the smoking gun. It wasn't about coordination at all. It was all about motivation.
So, okay, we've established it's all in our heads, but what exactly is happening up there? What's the psychology that makes us hit the brakes when we're part of a team?
The number one reason is something called diffusion of responsibility. It's like, imagine you have one pizza for one person. They are 100% responsible for eating it. Now imagine you have one pizza for 10 people. Suddenly, each person's responsibility feels way smaller. When everyone is responsible, it can feel like no one is.
And a huge part of that is feeling anonymous. When your personal contribution is just one drop in a giant bucket, it's easy to think, no one will notice if I slack off a little. You can just hide in the crowd.
And Bib Latané, the guy from the shouting experiment, he put it perfectly. If your individual work can't be identified, you're probably going to work less hard. It's just human nature.
But just hiding in the crowd isn't the whole story. There are a few other big psychological factors at play here. First up, you've got the sucker effect. I mean, nobody wants to be that one person doing all the work while everyone else gets a free ride, right? Then there's just matching what you see. If you think the rest of the group is phoning it in, you're probably going to lower your own effort to match. And finally, and this one's a biggie, if the task just seems pointless or your part feels insignificant, why would you even try hard?
All right, so we know what it is, we know why it happens. Now for the good stuff, the part you can actually use. How do we stop this from happening? How do we beat social loafing? So here's a whole toolbox of strategies, and they basically break down into 2 main types. On one side, you have your motivation strategies. These are all about tackling the psychology we just talked about, making people want to contribute. Then on the other side, you've got coordination strategies. This is the practical nuts and bolts stuff that just makes working together smoother.
That's a lot of options, I know. So if you're going to remember just 3 things, make it these. First, make individual contributions visible. Can't hide in the crowd if there's a spotlight on you. Second, keep your groups small. 3 to 5 people is often the sweet spot. And third, set goals that are super clear and actually challenging. Give people something to really aim for.
And here's another great little mental shortcut for you, the 3 C's of motivation. Make the work truly collaborative so people actually need each other. Make the content meaningful so they care about the outcome.
and give people some choice in how they do their work. Nail those three, and social loafing doesn't stand a chance.
So there you have it. You now know the science behind social loafing. You can spot it a mile away, and you have the tools to fight it. But here's my final question for you. It's one thing to spot this in other people, but what about in yourself? How are you going to make sure you're the one who's always pulling your weight?